Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy Nate Weitzer, holding it down on the East Coast, rocking his Sox hoodie. And we are going to jump into our favorite game of the night. Nate, Dallas hosting the Miami Heat, who look like one of, if not the best team in the NBA right now. We're kind of scratching our heads at that line right now as it opened up, but we'll jump into some of those best bets and things we like there. But as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for you on tonight's slate. Nate, let's jump into it.
Yeah, the Heat are now -2.5 at Dallas. I think you mentioned that -1 was the opening line, and I think some people are jumping all over that. The total's been bet down from 212 to 210 at the moment. Both those teams love a good under. And looking at the other games on a short slate tonight, the Bucks are now -5 at Detroit. Bucks will be without Holiday, Middleton, and Brooke Lopez in that one. We have a separate episode breaking down our angle there. Kings are +9 at the Jazz, who might be the best team in the NBA. You mentioned the Heat. Pelicans +11.5 at Suns, and then the Rockets +10.5 at Lakers. Some huge spreads over there. So we're leaning towards a much easier game to pick in terms of the points, and an easy game to pick, in my opinion, when you look at the advantages Miami comes into this game with. A straight-up rest advantage, first of all, which you can find at thelines.com every night. Mo Nuara has set us up with a tool to break down who has the best rest advantage in the NBA. And Miami hasn't played since Saturday, while Dallas played on Sunday. The Heat are 27-10 straight up with a rest advantage since the start of the 2019 season, and that includes a relatively weak 11-7 last year when they were kind of tired and dysfunctional. So really 16-3 in normal circumstances with a rest advantage. 20-7 straight up with 2+ days off. And it's just a coaching advantage as well. Eric Spoelstra, a seasoned, excellent NBA coach. He's 16-4 in his last 20 against the Mavericks, against a fellow seasoned coach, Rick Carlisle. And now he gets Jason Kidd, who we have consistently railed on this program as somebody who's not necessarily ready to take this team to the next level. And so far, he hasn't been doing much to improve the Mavericks at all. They're 27th in offensive rating, which is really stunning when you have a guy like Luka. And sure, they're 4-2. They've beaten pretty much the worst teams available. And the two games they played against playoff teams, Atlanta and Denver, they lost by 26 and 31 points. So I don't see how Miami isn't a bigger favorite in this spot. Granted, they're on the road, but I think that they can easily win this game. And I would even look at some alternate lines to get them up to maybe 5 or 6 points.
Yeah, get some points there. Yeah, the line actually started 1.5 point favorites for Dallas. They came out 1.5 point favorite. That's already swung about 3 points, as you said, to 2.5 points in favor of the Heat being the favorite there. And I don't know. Are we missing something here? We're talking about the Heat as one of the best teams in the league. They've got the best defense in the league, as we all easily predicted. Might be one of the best defenses we see in a long, long time. And they've also actually they're following that, pairing that up with the 4th best offensive rating in the league as well, which is also somewhat to be expected. I mean, Bam Adebayo's sort of offensive surge this year has been really, really impressive. Obviously, dominating the board still, but putting up around those 19 points a game. And he is questionable tonight, but he practiced yesterday. We do think he's going to play today, which, will just go ahead and hand Miami that rebound advantage. When you look at how much better they are, they're the best defense, the best rebounding team in the league right now, rebounding 57% of all missed shots in their games. Dallas, on the other hand, 3rd worst in the league at that same stat, not pulling down any boards, with which is what to be expected when you have a 7'3" center that you're paying all that money to, who doesn't go beneath the free throw line, and Kristaps Porzingis. So that's not going to help your rebounding. And your best rebounder is a guy who really you can't keep on the floor, because Boban's not someone that can play more than about 15, 20 minutes max.
And Porzingis hasn't played since their opener, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's missed the last four or five games easy. Yeah. So, with that in mind, like there's no reason to think he's questionable tonight. Suppose he could play. But even if he does, it's not like he's going to really impact the rebounding margin too much, where you've got Luka leading the team in rebounds by a ton. Powell and Dorian Finney-Smith are trying to do their best as well, but still both of them under 7.5 rebounds a game or so. It's not looking good. There's nothing for the Mavs tonight that tells me that they have any shot at, they can't score, and they're not going to against Miami. And Miami, you mentioned them on the road, but playing in Dallas hasn't been a problem for them. They're actually 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 overall, and their last 10 meetings in Dallas, they've covered the spread 8 out of those 10 times. So they, you mentioned Spoelstra just owning the Mavericks. It's really weird to think of him as a seasoned veteran coach, by the way, when you consider that I still look at him as the guy who just came in to coach LeBron, who used to be on the video team, but he is at this point a top 5 coach in the league, and Jay Kidd is, as we mentioned, probably closer to the bottom 5. And like you mentioned about the rest advantage, there was 0 times last year that the Heat had a rest advantage, in my opinion, considering how tired they were from the year before, right? And this year they're coming in. We all knew that this was going to be a huge uptick for them, which is why we love the over of their win total at the beginning of the year on like 45.5. We definitely gobbled that up. And I think we'll continue to see that tonight as they own these Mavericks. And I think there's no reason to think that they'll win by anything less than that 5 or 6 points that you mentioned as a solid alternate spread as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing some serious line movement because of the under trend that Dallas has gone under 6 straight games. The Heat have gone under in 4 of their last 5. But I think if you see enough line movement, I mean, I was originally looking at under Mavs 105.5. That's down to 103.5 for their team total. So I'm actually looking now at the Heat over. They've gone down from 109 to 105. And I think the Heat can easily score 106 points against this team. If that continues to get bet down, I would definitely hit that. And I think you can bet the overall game total if it goes down to like 208, if people just continue to hit that. But again, most confident in the Heat winning the game as long as Bam Adebayo is active. I think the Mavericks have already ruled out Maxi Kleber with a back injury. So that's actually a huge hit for them. I mean, he's a very versatile guy, sometimes a better fit alongside Luka than Porzingis. And so if with him out, if Porzingis also sits, I know you're scared of it, but Dwight Powell props are pretty low, 5.5 rebounds at even money. He's going to play a ton of minutes. If Bam's out, he could definitely get those boards. I think he has an outside shot at a double-double if Bam is out, who's really been one of the best rebounders in the league this year. And the reason for Miami's huge splits there. So Dwight Powell double-double is plus 1,500 at DraftKings. Just throwing that out there if you want to toss a couple pesos on a long shot. I mean, it's not that unreasonable that he could go for 10 and 10 and just get a poor man's double-double in what should be a low-scoring game and have a lot of available rebounds for a short-handed Mavericks front court.
Yeah, and you know where I stand on that. I'm terrified of taking anybody to get rebounds against a team that is rebounding 57% of every missed shot. That's wild, right? We don't really see that very often. Like you said, if Bam doesn't play, go ahead and feel much better about that Dwight Powell prop. At least the to your point, 5.5 rebounds at least. Feel really good about that for him either way. To be honest, someone's going to have to get some of those boards outside of Luka on that team and Dorian Finney-Smith. So you can consider his rebounds there. But if Bam plays right now, I'm not seeing Miami Heat props available, as we don't really know if Bam will play, and that's going to affect everything, obviously, for that team. But if Bam does play and you're able to eye that, stay on that news tonight as that game is about to start, consider finding some of those for Bam as well, because I think if you want a player performance double right there, if Bam double and a Heat win, it's really nice that this spread is still so low. Some of those player performance doubles for the Heat, if they become available on FanDuel, will really be nice odds, considering that they're not very big favorites right now. So I'll continue to stay on that. I'll let you take the Dwight Powell bet tonight, and we'll see how that one works out tomorrow. But make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We've got a couple other videos for you tonight on this small Tuesday night NBA slate, but a couple of best bets, some player props, as well as we're looking at the Milwaukee and Detroit game, some things we liked for you guys in there. And until we see you again, happy betting.